Konnichiwa, Abby desu. Hey guys, today's video is going to be a Q&A. Now, I'm answering questions that you guys asked me on my Instagram. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the questions. So the first question is, who is your favorite sanrio character? Mine is Cinnamoroll. Mine actually used to be Cinnamoroll as well, but ever since I came back from Japan, I've been a really huge fan of My Melody. I ended up actually going to Sanrio Budoland and I saw so many kawaii merchandise inspired by My Melody, so I got a bunch of stuff on my trip. I'm a really huge fan of himekaji fashion, which is a very like princessy style fashion. I do believe it's like a sister or another sub fashion of hime gyaru, which is a little bit more elaborate. I did a video talking about it a little bit. You guys can click on the video somewhere up here. But in my personal opinion, I feel like himekaji fashion is very linked with My Melody. YESSTYLE is a very well-known company that catered to the himekaji fashion community, at least back in the 2010s when it was quite popular. I don't think it's as popular now as it was before. And you can find a lot of wallpaper as well as, you know, old clothing from YESSTYLE with My Melody print or the print on their wallpaper, things like that. I feel like they're always very linked when it comes to himekaji fashion and the community. Now, I'm someone who really likes himekaji fashion, something that I've recently gotten interested in, probably as of last year, and so it really links with the style of fashion that I personally really like. So My Melody has definitely been my favorite sanrio character. Also, pink is my favorite color, so it's two of my favorite things, himekaji fashion and all things pink, so I just love My Melody. And I also really do love My Sweet Piano. I kind of feel like they're like a little pair, so My Melody and My Sweet Piano would be my favorite sanrio characters. The next question is, do you speak any other languages? Love your channel, by the way. Thank you so much. So yes, I do speak other languages. I also speak fluent Spanish. I went to a bilingual school from 1st grade up until 6th grade, so everything was taught in both English and Spanish. I'm also Mexican American. I heard my family speaking Spanish a lot. My parents are fluent in both English and Spanish. Although my Spanish has become a little rusty, it's not as great as it used to be. I can understand it a lot better than maybe I can communicate. I feel a little bit more comfortable communicating in English. I also took 3 years of French in high school. I think I've forgotten most of it. I do know a little bit of French, but I wouldn't consider myself someone who can speak French. And of course, I also do know a little bit of Japanese. I'm nowhere near fluent, but I do have a general understanding of Japanese, or at least the basic understanding of Japanese. I'm hoping to become conversationally fluent, but definitely over the years, my Japanese has improved, at least with my understanding of, you know, different vocabulary words. So when I hear certain phrases in Japanese, or I watch anime or Japanese dramas, you know, things make more sense to me. I wouldn't really say I'm fluent, but maybe the basics, a good basic. As I typically like to say, 少し日本語を話せます. Nevertheless, 頑張ります. The next question is, what is your favorite food and drink? So my favorite food would have to be carbonara pasta, and not just any style. I love Japanese style carbonara pasta. I'd actually never heard of this pasta until I went to Japan. There was a convenience store called Lawson. It's very popular in Japan, and it was located right in front of the university that I attended when I was living in Japan for a short period of time. I ended up picking out this pasta, and it so happened to be carbonara pasta, and I fell in love with it. My sister and I would always share a bowl. My sister has actually tried to remake it, and it's very, very good. It reminds me of very good times of when I was living in Japan, so it does kind of also have that positive link to it, but I just love carbonara pasta. It's really, really good. As for a drink, I know it's super basic, but it would have to be Coca-Cola. I just love it. I know it's such a basic drink, but I just love Coca-Cola. Now, it is almost going to be fall. Well, not really, but I consider it to be fall now because I'm so ready for Halloween now, and I feel like it does kind of have its own category. But for my fall drink, I've been obsessed with the vanilla sweet cream cold brew from Starbucks. It's my favorite go-to drink at Starbucks. I love cold brews, and that one is just my absolute favorite. So for like a coffee drink, something for the fall, honestly, it doesn't matter what time, I love this sweet cream cold brew. If we're talking like maybe more of a fancier drink, that is kind of like definitely my go-to. Probably a little bit more creative and more fun than simple Coca-Cola, but yeah, those would be like my favorite sort of drinks. The next question is, will you go back to Japan? If so, when and for how long? So yes, I will be going back to Japan. I'm going back to Japan next year in November. My family and I are already planning a trip to Tokyo for 1 week and then Kyoto for another week. So a total of 2 weeks. I do hope to go sooner, maybe on like a solo trip, maybe on a trip with my twin sister. So I definitely want to go to Japan before then. I'm hoping to go soon, but I mean, it's expensive, so I'm still trying to save money. But for now, what's certain, I will be going in November of next year for 2 weeks. Next question is, how are you doing, cutie? Love your Instagram pics, etc. and your videos on YouTube. Thank you so much. I've actually been doing really well. Next question is, where do you want to travel next? And are you still studying Japanese? So I really want to travel to South Korea. That is a country that I've been wanting to go for the longest time, apart from Japan. I feel like South Korea is such a beautiful country with amazing food, beautiful culture as well. So I really want to visit. I'm also a really big fan of Korean pop culture, like the food, fashion, K-pop, things like that. Korean fashion. I've done a few videos on this channel for you guys, so I'd love to visit South Korea. That is definitely on my bucket list. Hopefully I can make that happen next year. We'll see, maybe the year after that. It's definitely one of the countries that is just on the top of my list that I really want to go next. As for studying Japanese, yes, I have been studying Japanese. Something I've been doing, kind of like a routine, is as soon as I wake up, before going to work, I will do a Duolingo lesson. I know Duolingo will not make you fluent in Japanese, but I will say it has helped me learn Japanese, or just basic Japanese. Recently, I've been watching a Japanese drama called Pending Train on Netflix. I recommend it. It's really good. I've been watching it with my family, and it's the added bonus of being able to spend time with my family, but also practice some Japanese. I've been able to catch on to certain words. For example, there was a phrase I heard in the drama. Someone said a nice person, or you're a nice person, which is yasashi hito desu. And I actually learned that on Duolingo. So as soon as I heard that, I understood it perfectly well without having to read the subtitles. It's just always so exciting when you catch on to certain phrases or words. But more than anything, I use that to push myself to actively be studying Japanese every single day. I'm on day 52 of, I guess, my 52 strike on continuing to study Japanese every single day. I've also been trying to learn all the N5 vocabulary. I feel like it's really important to get a good understanding of the basics of Japanese. Making a lot of videos on how other people have studied Japanese, learn on their own. So that is what I've been trying to do. I really want to be conversationally fluent in Japanese. So far with my studies, I found that my understanding of Japanese has improved. And once my understanding improves, I'm sure I'll be able to communicate. You gotta start somewhere. I've definitely been on a journey to learn Japanese and have been studying very hard. So yes, I've continued to study Japanese. And my goal is honestly to be able to better communicate with people once I go back to Japan next year in November. Hopefully better communicate with my Japanese friends, maybe even have a conversation in Japanese. That is my goal, so fingers crossed. The next question is, what got you interested in Japanese and Korean fashion? So for Japanese fashion, I used to watch Venus Angelic. She was one of my favorite YouTubers growing up. I think I was about 13 or 14 when I first heard about Japanese, or J fashion as they call it. And Venus Angelic is someone who really introduced Japanese fashion to me, like Lolita fashion, for example. I got really interested in that style because she introduced it. And from there, I started doing my own research on Japanese fashion and just kind of went on a little rabbit hole from there. But someone who really got me interested in Japanese fashion was Venus Angelic, and that's just pretty much how it all started. As for Korean fashion, I started watching Boys Over Flowers probably around the same time. It's a very old Korean drama. It's still one of my favorites though, and it really piqued my curiosity to learn more about Korean culture. So I ended up looking Korean fashion, Korean culture in general. That's when I ended up finding out about K-pop, which is very different from how it is now, at least the styles. And then I also ended up finding out about this phenomenon of the Ulsan girl. I don't know if I'm saying that properly, but that sort of style was very popular in the 2010s, and so that's kind of what got me interested in it. I would look up Pinterest, write Ulsan on Pinterest, and I got a bunch of fashion ideas. So that's kind of how it started, and then I've just kind of grown with the trends as well. So that's pretty much how it all started, and now I'm with Korean fashion. I'm really heavily inspired by Wonyoung and K-pop idols and Korean dramas. Next question is, what is your favorite color? So I already answered this, but it is pink. Pink represents happiness for me. Whenever I think of the word kawaii, the color pink comes to mind. It's just such a happy color for me. That's why I have a lot of pink items around my room, because it just makes me really happy. So pink is for sure my favorite color. The next question is, your YouTube is so cute. How do you keep your room so aesthetic? Thank you so much. How I keep my room aesthetic? I like to go onto Pinterest for ideas. That is one way that I can kind of stay organized. Honestly, whenever I do like a little room makeover, I have like a little set of rules or tips that I go by. For example, have, a nice clean room to start off with, figure out where I want my furniture to be, set up. I always like to pick a color scheme first and then go with a theme. So whether I want a minimalistic Korean aesthetic room, it's the same rules that I follow, or if I want a kawaii room, I try to figure out what specific kawaii style. For example, goal for my room makeover this time was a living doll, kawaii room. So I looked at a lot of the living dolls' bedrooms and picked out different things that I wanted for my own room that I liked from their bedrooms. So definitely just writing it down and kind of following the steps. I did do a video on step-by-step on how to have a kawaii room, so you guys can go ahead and click on the video somewhere up here. I think explain it a lot better, but that's kind of how I keep my room aesthetic, and just making sure that everything is clean and organized. That really does help, but I think that video will explain it a little bit better. The last question is, do you like flowers? If yes, what is your favorite and does it have a meaning to you? So I do like flowers, and my favorite flower would have to be the sakura. I know it might be like a basic answer, but hear me out here. The first time that I was ever able to go to Japan was when I turned 18. I ended up moving to Japan and living there for about a semester, and I so happened to go in the end of March, beginning of April, which is sakura season, when the sakura are in full bloom, or also known as the cherry blossoms. So the sakura really represents that special moment where I first got to visit Japan, a place that I've been dreaming of visiting. Also, I actually ended up meeting one of my favorite YouTubers, Mika, and she did a vlog. You guys can check it out. I'll link it down below for you guys, but my twin sister and I showed up in the video, and we were so excited to meet her. This was in Yoyogi Park, and we were all surrounded by the sakura that were in full bloom. There was a really cute little picnic. I met a bunch of really awesome people, and of course one of my favorite YouTubers. So it was just such a special moment for me. The sakura just represents so many great moments in my time in Japan, the first time I got to actually visit Japan, and just so many great memories. So yeah, the sakura would have to be my favorite flower, and it's got a very special meaning to me because it just links to so many great moments. That is it for the Q&A. I hope you guys got to know me a little bit better. I really wanted to do a video like this because I finally reached 3K subscribers. My goal now is to reach 4K subscribers by the end of this year. If you have not, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I have a lot of really kawaii content. Of course, a lot more Japan vlogs that I've been working hard on editing, more kawaii fashion videos. So if that's something that you guys are interested in, then please make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. It lets you know once I posted a new video. Follow me at @theofficial_Abby on Instagram for some cute fashion inspiration. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video. 見てくれてありがとうございます。バイバイ。